Full time, Atletico Bilbao 0, Arsenal 2, a game that was played at the San Mamés Stadium down in Spain. The game was really hard. If you never watched it and you hear a result of 2-0, nothing will cross your mind that it was really a hard game for these two teams. But I tell you what, it was really a hard-fought win for the side of Arsenal into the mix, and the manager needed to obviously do the needful and really put in some substitutes, and those 2 goals were scored by substitutes that really came off the bench. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, this game of football really went ahead to go on very well, and the club of Arsenal really I won't come out and say that they really went ahead to obviously have a very good display. I would be lying, but I think they really had some good chances, and even Atletico Bilbao had some good chances. But who had better chances? Of course, it was Arsenal. And for Victor Gyökeres in the first half, I think he really got 2 chances. One of the first chances that he got was when he was released, when he was at the center half, and he was really played onside, and he ran, and he really went ahead to obviously run into a tighter angle that couldn't see himself really bury that ball in the back of the net. Then the second one, it was a very good teasing cross that was brought in the mouth of the goal by Julian Timber, and guess what happened? The side of Arsenal found themselves in a position of really seeing their number 9 really hit that ball wide. I think he headed it wide, but it was a very good delivery by a player known as Julian Timber. And towards the end of the first half, obviously, they went ahead and obviously collided with Gabriel Magalhaes on a set piece that was really brought in through by Declan Rice after Noni Madueke was obviously fouled. And when that came in through, I tell you what, it really saw Gyökeres win that header, but they collided with Gabriel Magalhaes, and Gyökeres really had blood flowing out of his head, and that's when the referee went ahead to call upon the responsible people, and after calling them on the field of play, guess what happened? They obviously had to tie his head, and he really had to play. And when this happened, it was really very evident that the club of Arsenal had gone ahead to find it hard to play Victor Gyökeres 90 minutes in there. And around, I think, the 60th, is it the 70th minute? I think 62nd minute, the manager took him off. And the first half ended 0-0, by the way. Second half, they came in through. The manager really hadn't obviously gone ahead to make any changes. But around the 60th minute, the manager made the first change of Leandro Trossard. And then later, he took off Ebelechi Eze and brought on Gabriel Martinelli. And these two went ahead to be the game changers for the club of Arsenal. And all the goals that Arsenal went ahead to get were from these 2 players that really came off the bench. And obviously, the brilliancy of Leandro Trossard. First goal, obviously, Leandro Trossard played in Gabriel Martinelli. And you know, when Gabriel Martinelli has space ahead of him, no one can obviously beat him. And Trossard really released him. Martinelli ran and went ahead to face the goalkeeper. And he really put that ball in the back of the net in the 72nd minute. You understand? And Arsenal went ahead to play and 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 play. And then 15 minutes later, after Trossard created a goal for the club of Arsenal, then again, Leandro Trossard went ahead, obviously make it 2-0 after Gabriel Martinelli ran towards the byline, put in a cutback, and I really liked the confidence and composure of Leandro Trossard, who went ahead, obviously controlled that ball and took an extra touch and put that ball at the back of the net to make it 2-0 for the club of Arsenal. And this shows you the importance of the squad depth. I tell you, this shows you the importance of what we call the squad depth. Now, if Arsenal never had what we call the squad depth, they wouldn't have gone ahead to win this game. Let's be realistic. There is no way Arsenal would have gone ahead to collect maximum points from this game if at all they hadn't obviously gone ahead to strengthen. And this is the power of the squad. With the front three of Noni Madueke, right? Ebelechi Eze, and a player called Victor Gyökeres. They really did all what they had to do. And I think the manager got to know that now I have to see to it that I come up with a plan B. And that plan B, I think, was like, I'm going to get in Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli, and this guy is obviously going to be playing as a false number 9. I'm talking about Leandro Trossard, and then Martinelli is obviously going to be capitalizing onto the pass. And that's how the first goal really came in through. And that shows you how brilliant Arteta and his technical team went ahead to understand that now there is something we need to do, And one will say you've always not gone ahead to obviously advocate for Martinelli to obviously be at Arsenal. I told you that Gabriel Martinelli acts well when there is space. And you saw to it that first goal, it's because of the space that really was there. And he's coming off the bench, And the other thing that you need to know is that the manager first brought on Leandro Trossard before he brought on Gabriel Martinelli. I've already told you, Gabriel Martinelli has to be third fiddle at Arsenal when it comes to that left attacking midfield. Why? Because Eze is better than him, although today Eze really never had a very good game. Let's be really very, very realistic. And he never really had what we call a very huge debut for the Champions League. It wasn't really good for him, and maybe that even calls in through the experience. That he has been playing in the Premier League, and there are levels that he has not been playing at. You understand? That's why you sort of it that in the Premier League is really shining and thriving, but in what we call the Champions League, he really looked like he was really struggling to obviously find himself into the better posture of himself as a player. But all I know is first game win got in by the club of Arsenal. I had obviously gone in for a 4-0 win for the club of Arsenal, but they've only gone ahead to be able to score 2 goals. But you can't fail to talk about Noni Madueke again. He was all over the place, putting in cutbacks, running towards the byline, putting in crosses. I tell you what, he's really one of those that you need to come out and obviously appreciate. And for Martinelli, I give him his flowers for scoring the first goal. And I've already told you the most important bit of it all is the first goal, because that opens up everything. And without that first goal, maybe even the second one would have gone ahead to obviously be hard to get, as these players would have gone ahead to stay intact, and them wanting to make it hard for the club of Arsenal to obviously come up and really maybe do the needful and really score. You understand? So as it stands, Arsenal have gone ahead to keep another clean sheet. Guys, last season, when Arsenal was playing the group stages, I think they conceded 2 goals. One against Inter Milan, and the other against Sporting Lisbon. And that game was 5-1. Now, the first game they've gone ahead to play away, they've gone ahead to find themselves in a position of really keeping a clean sheet. And David Raya is really up and running and is really making goalkeeping really look easy. And he really had to come up and really make some good saves, because there were like 1 or 2 moments where Atletico Bilbao could obviously go ahead and really find themselves in a position of really putting that ball at the back of the net. But I tell you what, David Raya is really David Raya. They defended really well, and they really had a very good goal in there, and the manager was really spot on. Nogard obviously made his first Arsenal competitive debut. That is it. If you've been following up for lots of things, and the manager's been like, go in and do the needful. Now, Arsenal are done with this game of football. That is it. And they're obviously going to be playing again in the Champions League on the 1st of October, meaning that they are focusing now on the game of Man City. Now, the other reason as to why I think the manager took off Victor Gyökeres was because of the game of Man City, because these are 8 games, in the group of the Champions League. Even if you lose this one, you can obviously catch up, on this. But when you're playing against a team known as Man City over the weekend, all you need are your best players and you need your number 9 available. So I think that's why the manager was like, let me take him off, such that this head injury doesn't obviously worsen, and then he will obviously be available. And today is a Tuesday. That means they have to rest for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and those are 4 days. And I think he'll be charged for the game of City in there. And City is not obviously going to be playing like Atletico Bilbao, Atletico Bilbao deployed what we call a man-to-man game. You understand? A man-to-man game. And they really looked successful at a certain point X. And I was like, will Arsenal even get a goal? Though, I would like to criticize the manager for one thing. Not playing a number 10 in that midfield. I was like, what is he all about? What is he all about? And you saw to it that when they brought in Leandro Trossard, who really played as a false number 9, meaning that he could obviously drop deep into the midfield and obviously try to find that ball, Arsenal found spaces, and those passes to obviously kill off a team known as Atletico Bilbao. And I'm 100% sure if Ethan Wanero was playing that number 10 position, he would have gone ahead to do something special. But unfortunately, he was not one of those that the manager went ahead to think of to bring onto the field of play when the side of Arsenal was really doing the needful. But when those goals went in, obviously what the manager had to do was to obviously get on Piero Hincapi, meaning that he has gone ahead to make his debut for the club of Arsenal, Gabriel Martinelli, Christian Nogard, and Leandro Trossard. 2 attacking options and 2 defensive options in there. And for your information, he never took off his central defenders. That is Gabriel Martinelli and Mosquera, meaning that it reached an extent when this manager is defending for his life. And he took off Noni Madueke and Ricardo Carafiori. Hincapi came in and really played into that position of Ricardo Carafiori, and Nogard came up and obviously played into that position, in the midfield. That means Mikel Merino moved up a little bit. Trossard went wide. Merino was leading the line. Then Rice, Zubimendi, and Nogard were really playing into that particular position. And that's how Mikel Arteta was really great. And he really saw himself really get 3 points out of Atletico Bilbao. And if the game of Atletico Bilbao has been hard like this, what of Atletico Madrid? Because they have to come to Spain, I think, twice during the group stages, right? So let's get into what we call the game stats. I think I've gone ahead to tackle almost everything that we need to come here and really discuss about. Now, the game stats were as follows. Game stats were as follows. Bilbao had 11 shots, even Arsenal had 11. Bilbao had 2 shots on target, Arsenal had 6 shots on target. And this is what I've always gone ahead to let you know, that if you have half plus the total shots on shots at goal on target, there is no way you fail to obviously score those goals. And they even had 1 more, So they had 6 and 2 of those crossed the line. 38% ball possession by Atletico Bilbao, 62% ball possession by Arsenal, 303 passes completed by Atletico Bilbao, 490 passes completed by Arsenal, 73% passing accuracy by Atletico Bilbao, 83% passing accuracy by Arsenal, 18 fouls by Atletico Bilbao, 15 fouls by Arsenal, 1 yellow card to Atletico Bilbao and 3 yellow cards to Arsenal, 0 red cards to Arsenal, 0 offsides to Atletico Bilbao, and 2 offsides to the club of Arsenal. 2 corners to both sides, and obviously it shows you that Atletico Bilbao studied Arsenal very well, and they're like, you shouldn't allow them to obviously get in more and more and more and more and more and more corners in there, because in set pieces, this team of Arsenal looks very, very deadly in there for you. And we go to the table. Union Saints, they've gone ahead to beat PSV, and they are topping the group right now, 3 points in there. Arsenal, They're second. Benfica is playing now, looking like they're third. Tottenham are fourth. Marseille still 1-1 with Real Madrid. Dortmund 0-0 and Juventus also 0-0. So that's the table for you. And as I predicted, and I told you in the live stream I did before even I came in for the match, day live, I told you Arsenal has one of the best squads in Europe, and you've gone ahead to see to it that they've gone ahead to use their squad depth as an advantage to overcome a team known as Atletico Bilbao. Rokani David is my name. That has been the match reaction. Thank you guys for watching in through. Let's wait and see what will happen tomorrow in other games of the Champions League. But even other teams are still playing, and when they are done, I'll come here and we'll let you know what the results have gone ahead to be in here. So I'm out, but continue to subscribe because we want to hit 28,000 subscribers onto this beautiful YouTube channel of ours. Not so? Bye-bye for now. See you later.